Here we go, part 2.
All right, we're back. Talking baseball 2015. I'm Rocket Kirchner. Ken, Tom. Middle relief was very important in 2014. I'm going to throw this over. Ken predicted that, but I'm going to throw this over to you. Kansas City, that 7th and 8th and 9th lineup they had, really held the line on that fingers in the hole of the dike many times with Herrera, what's his face, in the 8th inning, and then Davis, and then Holland. I think the Dodgers, what sunk them was not having that. How do you guys see, we'll start with Tommy, how do you guys see this changing in 2015?
Well, I tell you what, that's what the game has become. Every manager's dream now. I mean, yesteryear, you got complete games. In years past, you got complete games out of your starters.
Sure.
That was their job. You know what I mean? And the relief pitching was, and then all the closer thing came in to play. Now, what you aim for in this day and age, or this era of baseball, is having your starters go for 6 innings, and then you have a 7th inning, 8th inning, and then you get your closer, and that's the ideal situation. The Kansas City Royals put a emphasis on that last year, and it worked.
And we take our hat off to the other side of the state.
You always have to. You know what I mean? When something's working, I mean, and it's worked for us in the past. I mean, we've had our times with that. I mean, not as, as dominant as those three. When you got to those 3 guys, if your starter could get 6 innings, you got the 7, 8, and 9. Even the other team was.
But you know as well as I do, and you brought this up. The New York Times had an article on it. When Kershaw got to the 8th.
Oh.
And he was vulnerable.
Oh my goodness, yes.
In the playoffs.
Oh my goodness, yes.
Bam.
And
Bam.
Mattingly,
as good as he is.
Well, of course. I mean, and that's what I say. But by then, you're seeing him for the 3rd time through the lineup, or the 4th time through the lineup. You know what I mean? And I mean, even the best. I mean, Cy Young's record. These guys that have won 300 games, they're not 300-0. They are 300 wins and 172 losses or whatever. Right. They get losses. There's losses along the way.
Yeah.
So to be able to look down into the bullpen or call down there and say, I got a righty-lefty matchup coming up, and that's another thing that has really evolved in baseball is the matchup things. You know what I mean? The lefty-righties. In the old days. Gibson, Drysdale, all of that, Koufax, all of them, you know what I mean? They don't care if you were left-handed or right-handed, you're still going to beat their out, you know what I mean? You're just an out to them, whether you were left-handed or right-handed. Some guys hit, certain guys better, some guys match up better and stuff like that, but middle relief in this day and age and closing out ball games is huge.
Okay, but now this is something Ken feels strongly about, and I do too. And I want to ask Ken first, and then get your view. I thought, why didn't we save Neshek? Why didn't we save Neshek?
It's a painful part of baseball, but I got to go back to the love of baseball. I realize in baseball that you can, and I'd say this to my friend Kevin Brown in Buffalo. How you doing, Kevin? All the time, that you can put all the players in a big bag and shake it up, and then throw them around to all the different teams. And I'm a firm believer that this is just a personal thing. I cannot get close to the players on the team. I can love the team, but I can't love the players. Well, last year I went nuts over Pat Neshek. I went nuts over this guy. The guy.
What a reliever!
He's so off the grid, as you would say, Rocket. He's just off the grid. He's just a phenomenal guy to watch. And I was hoping in my mind that the St. Louis Baseball Cardinal organization would have kept him, but they didn't. They traded him to the Astros.
It's kind of probably always going to be money.
Business.
It's a business. I think they felt as though guys in the organization or other things that were And one of the things is this Walden that came over in the
Right.
Jason Hayward trade
In Atlanta.
is from Atlanta,
Yeah.
who closed out many ball games. We don't need a closer. You know what I mean? Rosenthal will be our closer.
Yep.
Right.
But
He'll make you sweat, but
he'll make you sweat
Of
at
course.
times. You know what I mean? We've had other closers
Oh, yeah.
that have done that to us too. But I think I think I almost made Nishak expendable to where
Yeah.
we were
Okay,
getting this
okay.
guy Walden part of the deal,
Okay.
and he did close out a lot of games. So you plug him into
Yeah.
the eighth inning. I liked Pat Nishak, and I liked his approach to the game and what he did. And if he came in and got one batter, or he got two batters, he faced right-handers, he faced left-handers. You didn't have to platoon him to get a right-handed batter out or a left-handed batter out only. And his delivery was second to none. And I think that was his novelty.
Yeah.
And very important, I must say about Nishek, for me, he put middle relieving, the whole aspect of middle relief pitching on the front burner, as far as I'm concerned.
Oh, yeah.
Because
No
middle relief pitching is not a very talked about subject. It's the home runs, it's the pitching, but the chess playing of middle relief.
It's become so big.
Nishak put it on the front burner,
Right.
and personally, I'm truly telling the world this. I'm truly going to miss Pat Nishak
Okay.
as a St. Louis baseball Cardinal. I mean, it's laissez-faire, so laissez-faire.
So let's sign off with this. Let's sign off.